in ruins. Charles made Harry lose all allies in UK after terrible speech in Bombshell interview. Prince Harry could be in danger of running out of allies if he continues to hurt his family, it's been warned. Earlier this week, Harry said he severed ties with Saudi billionaire Mahfouz Marei Mubarak bin Mahfouz a year before he was presented the CB by Prince Charles. The Duke of Sussex reportedly had concerns over the businessman's motives, who is listed as a supporter on the Prince's Foundation website, donated large sums to restoration projects of particular interest to Charles. The Prince then gave Mr. Mahfouz, who denies any wrongdoing, a CBE in a ceremony at Buckingham Palace in 2016, which was not published in the court circular. But Harry's comments could be seen as one-upmanship over his father as the royal rift between the prince and his family continues. The royal editor Russell Myers said, "The Prince of Wales is caught between a rock and a hard place on how to deal with his son after so many recent and often hurtful outbursts towards the rest of his family." For while Prince Charles, according to those close to him, still loves and cares deeply for Prince Harry, there is a certain unease at how frequently and with such ease he seems to wade into his family's affairs. The family he upped sticks and left behind, if you recall. The latest souring of relations between father and son seems to stem from Harry attempting to claim he raised concerns about a Saudi tycoon at the center of a probe into sizable donations to Charles's charity. This is at odds with Charles, or any of his closest advisors, who appear to have no knowledge of Harry ever mentioning anything of the sort. The Harry that presents himself in public, or through his vastly expensive lawyers, is quite different from the one who still engages with his father. The danger is he will run out of a number of already dwindling allies in his own family if he doesn't see the hurt he is causing to others who have maintained a dignified silence. It is claimed Charles and Harry have had only a few fraught conversations on the phone since the Sussexes quit their roles as senior royals and moved to Los Angeles in 2020. But Harry has been critical of his family in a number of interviews in the US since he and his wife relocated overseas, including the bombshell chat he and Meghan had with Oprah Winfrey. The comments from Prince Harry came during a Q&A as his role as Chief Impact Officer in mental health startup BetterUp. He said quitting your job for the sake of your mental health and happiness is something to be celebrated. The prince added that many people around the world are stuck in jobs that don't bring them joy, but now they are putting their mental health and happiness first by quitting. Today Show Australia hosts mocked the Duke of Sussex's comments. Host Richard Wilkins said, "Prince Harry has come under fire again after saying that quitting your job can bring joy and should be celebrated. This advice from someone you know, who lives in a multi-million-dollar mansion with a $50 million Netflix deal and all, it's a bit rich, isn't it? What do you reckon?" Susie Elelman added, "It is. There certainly is nothing like getting opinions from that rarefied air of wealth when you've got a trust fund that you've inherited, and you live in a $12 million mansion." The interesting comment that I think he made most of all was, sometimes we have to settle for living in places less than what we would like to live in. She added, "Well, I know there's a lot of people at work that are trying to just keep a roof over their head, regardless of what that sort of home is. So I thought that they actually left the royals and wanted to be left alone and not have any publicity. Well, I've got to tell you, they're not doing themselves any favors. It's so true, especially in these times, people are living from paycheck to paycheck and they don't have that luxury just to kind of go, I'm not enjoying this. If only it was so simple.